Welcome to the Big D Streams. This is me, the Big D, for a late night edition of this live stream. Welcome. I was 50-50 about doing one tonight. I was going to do a couple of other little bits, but I thought, you know what? I miss you guys so much that I want to have a little chat with you, because there's been some interesting developments when it comes to Manchester United quite lately, and the Big D would like to share that with you. And some of the news that's breaking tonight is that Manchester United have officially, and it's been reported by Sky Sports News that we have officially started talks with Leipzig for Benjamin Sesko. He seems to be priority number one for Manchester United, which, I mean, fair enough. I mean, they're going all out for him, or at the very least, they're certainly going to see if they can do something with him. I mean, whether they can or not remains to be seen, of course. But, you know, we shall see. But we're going to go through that tonight. We're also going to be talking about Gianluigi Donnarumma, which is an interesting one to watch as well. So, yeah, and we're also going to have a little look at some squad assessment of Manchester United, because I was talking to a Scouser today, and you know what Scousers are like. They talk rubbish. They do. But every now and then, a broken clock is right 2 times a day. Or should I say, a broken clock is always right 2 times a day. But you know what I mean. And he did say a couple of interesting points, and which kind of made me want to do a little bit of an assessment of Manchester United's squad, just to give a brutally honest opinion of how we could potentially fare next season. So, let's see. We shall see. Anyway, so, yeah. So, as I say, as you know, people who watch this channel, if something is on your mind, if something is bubbling up inside of you that you need to express, please express it in the comments. The Big D reads all of the comments, and he's always interested in what is on your mind. So, yeah, Benjamin Sesko. I'm not entirely sure which one it is, but you know who I mean. He does look good, to be fair, but I'm not sure he's going to be as good as we need him to be, because we need a striker that's going to bag 20 league goals in the Premier League. That's what we need, and I'm not entirely sure he's any better than what we've already got. I mean, we've already got Rasmus Højlund, and I know Rasmus Højlund isn't like a world beater yet, but I don't think Benjamin Sesko is a world beater yet either. Whether or not either of those guys will become world beaters, I just don't want Man United to make the same mistake that they made with Højlund and buying a player who is 2 or 3 years or even 4 years before his prime, and we're not even going to be sure he's going to reach that prime. I would personally, now that we've got Mbeumo and Cunha, I would personally prefer Manchester United to just work with Rasmus Højlund and Joshua Zirkzee, because there's goals in Cunha, there's goals in Mbeumo, and there's goals in Bruno as well. So that should sort of, at the very least, dramatically improve our position in the league next season. If those players just play to their maximum, that's all we ask. If they all put their effort in, they will each get enough goals to propel Manchester United up the table. It's as simple as that. And if they play well, the players around them will play well, and they'll create opportunities for whoever is playing up front, whether it's Zirkzee or Rasmus Højlund. But we'll see. We'll certainly see. And anyway, but it looks like we're going for him. It's almost as if we're desperate to just get someone in, just to kind of, I don't know, it feels a little bit panicky. We're going to be paying 80 million for him. Now, I'll tell you what, let's go to see what it says on here anyway. Now, so as it stands, Benjamin Sesko is Manchester United's top striker target. Okay? Now, they're holding initial talks over conditions of the deal. Okay? Now, I don't think Manchester United are going to want to pay about 80 million. And that is the price tag that they've put on Sesko's head. It's about 80 million. And that's based on what Liverpool have paid for Ekitike. Because he's a similar kind of player. He scored a similar amount of goals to Sesko last season. And they just think that that's fair. Now, one thing I will note in Sesko's defence is Leipzig aren't great. So considering he didn't have as many chances created for him, he did exceptionally well with the chances that he got. So that's certainly something. So he does make the most of the opportunities that he does get. So that's actually a plus point that I did want to throw in there with regards to Benjamin Sesko. So I know I'm being a little bit kind of, what can I say, negative about this particular deal. I know it's always exciting to buy a big name player. But, you know, we want a Ruud van Nistelrooy. We don't want another Anthony, do we? So I just want to urge caution is what I'm saying. Anyway, so he's emerged as the top target for Manchester United in this window if they sign a striker. Exploratory talks have been held with Sheshko. I sound like Goldmember from Austin Powers 3. Sheshko, oh. Exploratory talks have been held with Sheshko's representatives, and it is understood that while Manchester United are keen to sign him, it will not be a simple deal to do financially. Because Man United have just spent about 120 million on 2 players already. We haven't really sold anyone. I mean, we got rid of Rashford, but he's only out on loan. So we need to sell some players. And from what I heard from Fabrizio Romano today on his fantastic YouTube channel, which I recommend that you check out, is that Manchester United and Leipzig have discussed like a player plus cash option. And I'm led to believe that Sesko's preferred choice would be Rasmus Højlund. But Rasmus Højlund has made it perfectly clear that he does not want to leave Manchester United and that he wants to fight for his place at the club, which is absolutely fantastic because we want players at Manchester United who want to fight for the jersey and who want to play for the club. And Rasmus Højlund is, well, at least he's got the right attitude. He does work hard. Excuse the big D. Alcohol-free, kids. Don't drink. Anyway, so there's interest in Sesko, and it's being driven by recruitment director Christopher Vivell. Now, Christopher Vivell was the guy that actually scouted Sesko for Red Bull Salzburg when he was 16, so he knows him really, really well, and he's pushing for this deal. They've had a long-standing interest in Sesko, and they've been keeping an eye on him for a few years, apparently. And, well, I mean, United have done the due diligence on the strikers this window, and it just seems as though, well, he's their best option at the minute. I mean, there isn't that many good number 9s out there, to be fair. What else does it say? However, the prices and structure for those players, no. Well, Sesko could cost more. Yeah, that's basically it, really. Oh, yeah, I meant to say it. So, there's been a couple of clubs that's been interested in Sesko. Newcastle, particularly, especially if Isaac goes to Liverpool or Saudi or wherever. Personally, I think Isaac's staying at Newcastle, but that's for another fan channel. But despite that, Sesko's preferred destination is, in fact, Manchester United. So that is a plus as well. Fair enough. Newcastle have got European football. Manchester United haven't. But he still wants to come to United. I mean, form is temporary, class is permanent. We might have been crap last season, but clubs still want to play for Manchester United because there's a romance to the club. We're still a massive club. We always will be. Even if Man United got relegated, we'd still be all over the back pages, United in the Championship. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, let's hope it doesn't get to that point. So yeah, that's basically where we are at the moment. So they're in talks. They're trying to put something together just to see what they can do. And it seems that if something can be done, then Sesko seems to be the guy that Manchester United are double downing on. So, I mean, you never know. You never know. He could be the next best thing. He could just hit the ground running in the Premier League. It might just suit him, and he might just turn into the new Zlatan Ibrahimovic. And even Zlatan didn't hit amazing goal-scoring numbers until later on in his career. So, Man United just might be the making of him. You never know. We shall soon see. We shall soon see indeed. But let me know what you guys think. Remember, the Big D's always interested in what is on your mind. Put your thoughts in the chat. The Big D reads all of the chat. Any questions, any concerns. If you think the Big D is talking nonsense, please put it in the chat. The Big D doesn't have a glass jaw. He can take it. Anyway, I mean, this goes on to what Manchester United actually need in the transfer window this summer. Now, we needed goals, and there's been a massive overemphasis on a number 9. Now, the reason we want a number 9 is for goals, obviously, but the thing is, we've bought Bryan Mbeumo, so there's double figures in him in the Premier League alone. We've bought Matheus Cunha. There's goals and assists from him. If we can get a song out of Bruno Fernandes next season, there's goals and assists from him. So we've kind of already sort of solved the goal-scoring problem in theory. So anything up top now it's a bonus. So I personally don't think we are in desperate need for a striker at this point. I say take a chance on working with Xerxes and working with Højlund and seeing what happens there, because we're kind of overprescribed up front now, because we've got, like, to play in those front 3 positions, potentially we've got Mason Mount, Amad Diallo, Bryan Mbeumo, Bruno Fernandes, Joshua Xerxes, Kobbie Mainoo can play there. Have I missed anyone out? There might be someone else there. I can't remember, but that's 6 players for 2 positions. So, I mean, you can't play them all, you know. So the point I'm making is we've just got too many players up there. Our defence seems to be fine. Midfield doesn't seem to be too bad, with a few tweaks here and there. I mean, it still needs improvements, but it's not awful, is what I'm saying. But there's one position that Manchester United need to improve, and that's the goalkeeping situation. I mean, God bless Andre Onana. He seems like a really nice guy, and he seems like a pretty decent shot stopper, but he's a bit of a calamity. And he just lets in stupid goals, you know? And the most interesting transfer news that I've heard all summer is the fact that Gianluigi Donnarumma, fresh off a Champions League win and fresh off a run to the final in the Club World Cup with that amazing PSG team, is not signing a new contract, not yet anyway, and he's open to a move. And he's got 1 year left on his contract. So apparently PSG are open to offers for him, or at the very least, open to talk. And they've got a rough valuation of around £34 million. Now, £34 million for Gianluigi Donnarumma, I would snatch their hands off. Now, there's been no talks yet. It's just kind of been let out there, just out there in the ether. Perhaps accidentally on purpose to generate interest, just to see who's gonna bite, perhaps. And a couple of clubs have been mentioned. So Man City have been mentioned, Man United have been mentioned, and Chelsea have been mentioned. Now, Manchester United have come out straight away and said they will not be drawn into a bidding war for Gianluigi Donnarumma. And I think one of the things that would need to happen if Gianluigi Donnarumma was to leave PSG and come to Man United is that we'd need to probably get rid of Andre Onana, because I don't think he's actually going to want to sit on the bench. He might have to be fair, but see, the thing is, I was talking to my dad before, the big D's dad, the big Ron, and he was saying that there's no way he's leaving PSG. Now, on the face of it, why would he? PSG have just won the Champions League. They've also just got to the final of the Club World Cup. They're an absolutely amazing team. They could retain the Champions League next season, potentially. So why would he want to leave? And, well, the answer to that is he's still a really young player. Because he's been around since he was 16. He was playing for AC Milan in the first team when he was 16, 17, 18. And he's still got at least 10 years in him. I mean, if you think back, Edward van der Sar played at the top level till he was 42. So Donnarumma's got a long way to go in his career just yet. And he's won everything with PSG now, really. I mean, is he going to wait another 4 years to get into the FIFA Club World Cup again to win it with them? He's won the Champions League. He's won the French League. He's won the French Cup. He's done all that. He might want a new challenge. Why wouldn't he want a new challenge? Why wouldn't he want to come to the Premier League and test himself in the most physically demanding league in the world? So it makes sense. Now, I'm not saying he's going to come to United. Maybe he could. Maybe he would want to. Maybe he wouldn't. I don't know. Maybe he's playing everyone for a new contract at PSG. Maybe that's what he's doing, because that could be a possibility. Or maybe he's just going to run his contract down like Kylian Mbappe did. Could be doing that. Because if he runs his contract down, he's free to talk to people in January. So Man United could do a deal for him in January, or Chelsea, or City, or whoever, and then they could get him next year for free. And he could get a massive signing-on bonus, like a 30 million signing-on bonus, plus get 250 grand, 300 grand a week on top of that. So that could be a thing with Donnarumma. Now, the question is Donnarumma the player that we need, that we want? I mean, personally, I would have him tomorrow, and I would pay the 30 million. Now, I just want to go into some details about him here. So I've got a little bit of a style of play assessment, okay? So this is what it says. Gianluigi Donnarumma is known for his commanding presence in the penalty area, excellent shot-stopping ability, and strong command of his defence. He is a physically imposing goalkeeper, which would suit the Premier League, who often comes off his line to claim crosses and deal with through balls. While he's generally considered a strong shot stopper and a good presence in the box, his footwork and distribution are areas where he has been criticised. See, it's like, who cares that his distribution is crap? I mean, Andre Onana's distribution, he was bought for that, and he can pass a ball, and he comes off his line, and he's like a sweeper. But he lets daft goals in. So what would you rather have? A goalkeeper that can stop goals, that can catch crosses, and that can command his penalty area? Or do you want someone who can pass a ball? Just put a defender back there that can pass a ball and can do the distribution, you know? I mean, this guy's reminding me a little bit of David De Gea. I mean, David De Gea wasn't physically imposing, to be fair, but he was an amazing shot stopper, and we were a better side when he was playing. So I'll never forgive Ten Hag. No, I will. I'm not even bothered anymore. But Ten Hag should not have sold David De Gea. Anyway, so his strengths, shot stopping. Donnarumma is widely regarded as one of the best shot stoppers in the world. His save percentage is among the highest in Europe, and he has a knack for making crucial saves in big games. Excellent. So he's got a big game mentality as well. Commanding presence. He uses his large frame to dominate his penalty area, often punching balls clear from crosses and set pieces. Coming off his line. Donnarumma is decisive in coming off his line to claim balls and is effective at both catching and punching the ball clear. His tactical awareness is a strength. Now, this is good. This is interesting because obviously it's a very tactical game these days. Donnarumma shows a good understanding of defensive setups and tactics, helping to organise his defence and anticipate danger. Now, that is very, very nice to read. Now, weaknesses. Okay, so he's got two weaknesses really. One is footwork and distribution, and also near post saves. So his footwork and distribution. Donnarumma's distribution is an area where he has received criticism. He tends to play shorter passes and avoids long balls more often than other top goalkeepers. Some have noted that he struggles with saves at the near post, potentially due to his height and agility. Okay. But in summary, Donnarumma is a modern goalkeeper with a strong emphasis on shot stopping and aerial presence. While he excels in many aspects of his position, his distribution and decision making with his feet are areas that could be improved. See, I don't care about that. As long as he can stop the ball going in the back of the net. We need to get back to that. And if he's just won the Champions League, a Champions League winning goalkeeper, we're going to get him for 30 million. We've tried the distribution sweeper keeper thing, and it hasn't worked. So, no, we need a new approach, and we need a world-class goalkeeper. And I say, if Gianluigi Donnarumma shows any sign of wanting to come to Manchester United in the Premier League, I say Manchester United should go for it. Anyway, let's have a little look at the chat. Let's see what's going on at the chat. Oh, it's Bang Bang, my friend. Bang Bang Pat for life. What you saying, my friend? 1999, Manchester United versus 2008, Manchester United. You're also saying CR7. Portugal flag. Yeah, that's a good question. Bang Bang. I think the 2008 Manchester United team is not only the greatest team in Premier League history, but it's also the greatest team and also the second greatest team of its generation. It is also the greatest team in the history of Manchester United. I think it beats the 99 team, and I think it beats the 99 team tactically. With a couple of tweaks, the 99 team could probably take the 2008 team, but the 99 team was very rigid. It was a rigid 4-4-2, and everyone was amazing in their positions, fair enough, but you know, everyone had their position and they stuck to it, and they were very tactically disciplined, and you know, they could score from all kinds of places. Giggs going down the left, David Beckham crossing from the right, free kicks, headers, all of that good stuff, fair enough. But the 2008 team was just much more tactically astute. So they were tactically fluid as well. So they would initially start as a 4-3-3, but they could morph into a 4-4-2, but also into a 3-4-3 as well. So I think that 2008 team beats it. And also man for man. So if we go man for man on that, you've got Schmeichel or Van der Sar. Well, I'd go Schmeichel over Van der Sar, fair enough. So that's 1-0 to 99. Gary Neville or Wes Brown. I'd go Gary Neville at right back. So there's another one for 99. Centre backs, Ronnie Johnson and Jaap Stam over Vidic and Ferdinand. Well, I'd have Jaap Stam over Ronnie Johnson, but I'd have Rio Ferdinand. Sorry, I'd have Jaap Stam over Vidic, but I'd have Rio Ferdinand over Ronnie Johnson. So it's 3-1 at the moment. and Everett or Dennis Irwin. Well, I'd have Dennis Irwin over Patrice Evra, so it's 4-1 at the moment, actually, man for man. So if we're going, let's say we stick it at 4-4-2. So Beckham or Hargreaves? Well, it's got to be Beckham. Scholes. Well, Scholes was in both teams, so they cancel each other out, obviously. Carrick or Keane? Well, it's Keane, actually. Oh, my God. And then Ronaldo or Giggs? Well, it's got to be Ronaldo. And then up front, York or Rooney? Well, it's got to be Rooney. Tevez or Cole? I don't know. I'd rather have Tevez, to be honest. So, 6-4. Yeah, fair enough. 6-4 man-to-man. But, as I say, I think tactically speaking, I think the 2008 was just a little bit more tactically astute. So I'm still going to go with the 2008 team over 1999. But man for man, the 99 team beats the 08 team. Which brings me quite nicely. Thank you for that, Pat. That's just a nice little segue for me into what I want to finish off with tonight. We're 26 minutes in. That has flown in. Remember, those guys who are watching, if you've got any questions, any concerns, any thoughts, if anything is bubbling up inside of you, please, thoughts in the comments. The Big D reads all the chat. He's not making a video here, he's making a stream. Thoughts in the chat. The Big D reads all of the chat, and he's always interested in what is on your mind. Bang, bang again, what you saying? That's interesting, but because I think the team can be better man for man, but another team can be better tactically and system-wise. Well, great minds think alike. Bang, bang, Pat for life. So, here we go. Let's see. So this squad that we've got at the moment, I was looking at it before, and I know we were awful last season, and we were absolutely rubbish in the league anyway. I mean, in Europe, we were actually pretty decent, and I went to a lot of the European games last season. I was at the Lyon game, and I was at the Bilbao game, and there were moments there we played quite well. But what I'm saying is the squad is actually teeming with talent. And the two main issues that we had last season was, one, there was a big tactical overhaul. Not just a big tactical overhaul, but an attitude overhaul as well. Ruben Amorim cleaned house, and he changed everything drastically. In fact, one could argue he changed too much too soon, which was a far cry from what previous managers did. But it could be what Manchester United need. So I'm not saying this to criticise him. I'm just saying it as a fact, right? He changed a lot last season. So it took a while for that squad to get used to it. And I would argue they didn't get used to that new system until about March time, really. Okay? So that's number one. And because of that, we shipped a lot of players out. You know, they just basically got booted out, like Rashford, for instance, most famously. And secondly, because we got rid of Rashford, obviously, and because we couldn't sort of, it took them ages to get used to that system, we couldn't score goals. So we needed to get used to the tactics, and we need to score goals. Now, outside of that, the team is full of talent. Now, I think we have gotten used to this new formation, right? I think we have. But I just want to go through the squad just to see where we need to improve, okay? So we'll start with the goalkeepers. I mean, we've got Bayinda, Tom Heaton and Onana. Well, I've just been on a rant there about we need Donnarumma in, so that's certainly an area for concern, okay? We definitely need to improve the goalkeeping situation. Simple as that. Whether or not we do, I don't know yet, but that's certainly an area for concern. So I think we're in agreement on there. Now, defence. Now, when I talk about defence, I'm talking about the three at the back. Okay, I'm not talking about the wing backs. I'm talking about the three at the back. Now, the players that can play three at the back, we've got Mazraoui, De Ligt, Maguire, Martinez, Lenny Yoro, Luke Shaw, Aidan Heaven. That's 7 players. Now, Mazraoui, just on a little side note, Mazraoui and Luke Shaw can play at the fullback positions as well. But I think that's quite a good defence. We've got some top-level defenders there, as in Matthijs de Ligt. We've got some experience there in Maguire and Martinez as well. Martinez is a decent player if he can stay fit. But we've also got some potentially exciting world-class young defenders there. Lenny Yoro was class towards the end of last season, and Aidan Heaven looked pretty decent as well. So I like that defence. I think that defence just needs worked on. I don't think it needs any more additions at centre-back. I think that's fine for now, and we'll see how we get on with them next season. Okay. Now, in terms of the wing-back position, I mean, we've got Dalot, we've got Dorgu, we've got that Diego Leon as well, and also, it seems, based on pre-season so far, that Ruben Amorim is trying out Amad Diallo at right wing-back, which I think is a good thing, to be fair, because we do need some more attacking impetus on the flanks. And we've got too many players that play in number 10 now. So if we just shift Amad Diallo to right wing-back and teach him how to do that, and we play him alongside, say, well, a defender that's got a little bit of pace on the right side of the 3 centre-backs, then that might just be a nice little partnership. You know, like maybe stick Mazraoui in there. So it might be, say, Mazraoui, de Ligt and Yoro or something like that. Or even Yoro, de Ligt and Martinez. I think that's pretty decent. And I think Diogo Dalot and Amad Diallo fighting it out for that right wing-back position, I think that's all right. I don't think we need any sort of major surgery there at this point. I think that's fair. Now, Dorgu looked all right last season. Very raw, very athletic, put the effort in. He needs to work on his technique and his crossing. Fair enough. So he's not quite there yet. But a pre-season, he might be all right. And let's have a little look at this Diego Leon. I mean, I don't know too much about him. I haven't seen too much about him just yet. But maybe if he's a backup to Dorgu. And plus, don't forget, we've got Luke Shaw as well. So if he can stay fit, I think we're good at left wing-back as well. Because Luke Shaw, if he's fit and trim, he's as good as anyone at left wing back in the league anyway, you know. So I think we're good there. So goalkeeping definitely needs improved. Defence, I think we're all right. I think we are all right. Now, midfield. So ideally, in midfield, we need a more defensive central midfielder, but we need one that can sort of link the midfield to the attack a little bit. So on paper, for me, it's Ugarte and Menu, okay, to start next season. And then that would leave Mason Mount and Casemiro to back those two up. But according to this, it's got Bruno Fernandes in midfield. Now, they're not dropping Bruno because Bruno is still our best player and he's our club captain. So where's he going to play? That's the interesting thing. Is he going to play in central midfield or is he going to play at number 10? Personally, I would play Bruno Fernandes at number 10. But we'll see. But I think if we've got Casemiro, who is there as sort of the wise old head, that, you know, as a squad player, basically, that'll step in as and when needed. Perhaps coaches up Ugarte, teaches him how to be a top-level central midfielder. We've got Kobbie Mainoo and Mason Mount fighting it out for the other central midfield berth. I think that's quite good, to be fair. I don't think that needs major surgery because we can also slot Bruno in there and we can also slot Toby Collier in there as well, just to give them, you know, just to sort of bolster it up a little bit. So I don't think any major surgery needs to happen there. Now, if someone lands on our lap, like if miraculously Jude Bellingham decides that he wants to sign for Man United and he wants to play in central midfield, then fair enough. Fair enough. But as it stands, I don't think we are desperate on that front. So, we need to improve the goalkeeping. The defence is fine. Wing-backs seem fine for now. I'm not saying we're going to win the Premier League, but we're fine for now. And central midfield seems fine for now. Now that leaves the 3 forwards. So that's 2 number 10s and 1 number 9. Now, for the number 10 positions, that leaves Matheus Cunha, Bruno Fernandes, Bryan Mbeumo, and Mason Mount can play there too. I mean, that's all right. That seems good to me. We're okay at number 10. And that leaves Rasmus Højlund and Joshua Zirkzee to fight it out for that number 9 position. I don't know. On paper, it seems to me that the only pressing position that Manchester United need to improve now, it's not actually number 9. Now that we've got Cunha and Bryan Mbeumo, who can also play up front. Whatever money we have left should be focused on signing a goalkeeper. That's what it seems to me. Everywhere else, if people play to their strengths and if everyone plays to their potential and they all put the effort in, they've all got a positive attitude, they hit the ground running and they work hard and they give their all, there's no reason why that squad can't finish or at the very least challenge for top 4. But that's the Big D's brutally honest opinion. If someone lands on our lap, if Erling Haaland decides he wants to jump to the other side of Manchester, then great, fair enough, stick him in there. But I don't think we should be forking out 80 million on a striker that we don't really want or really need. But hey ho, what do you guys think? Thoughts in the chat. The Big D reads all of the chat. And let's have a little look to see what people are saying. Because the Big D's talked a little bit now. I want to know what you guys have got to say. So, let's see. Bang, bang. What you saying, my friend? Had a vision of the future. Mr. Amorim will win everything with Manchester United with the great Bruno Fernandes as the captain. Don't worry. I will try not to worry, bang, bang. Thank you for that. I mean, you never know. We could finally get it right and have the manager that we need that's finally going to replace Alex Ferguson. It's a big ask, but we'll see. We'll see. I mean, what I do like about Ruben Amorim is he's just come in straight away and just set he set the standard straight away, and he's got rid of people who were just not gonna cut it under his stewardship. And also, I do think that generally speaking, Ineos, they've got a good idea of their footballing project now. So they're thinking medium to long term, and that's the first time anyone has thought that way since Alex Ferguson. So the combination of that mindset and also Ruben Amorim, who doesn't mess about, just could be the recipe that we need to kick on. But then again, I've been saying that every single manager except for Moyes. So you never know. We'll see. Bang, bang. What else are you saying, my friend? I think when you are a Manchester United fan, you are automatically half Portuguese. That could be true, my friend. I'll tell you what, I wish I had a Portuguese tan instead of this Casper the Friendly Ghost look. I'll tell you that, mate. Temesgen Deliso, nice to hear from you again, my friend. Yes, I liked Sesko, Carlos Baleba, Højlund, Donnarumma to United is better for next season. Please, Ineos, make plan for Amorim, please. Yeah, I think you've mentioned a couple of those names before, mate. Hasn't Højlund gone to Man City? Or am I thinking of Reinides or something? I'm not sure. But yeah, Donnarumma, I agree. I agree, my friend. Bang, bang again. Would you rather have Andre Onana or Fabian Barthez? Well, Fabian Barthez won the World Cup. And did Fabian Barthez win the Champions League as well with Marseille? Do you know what? I'm going to look that up, mate. Fabian Barthez. And he also won the Euros as well. And he also... what else did he do? What else? He's done something else. I can't remember. Fabian Barthez honours. Let's see. Wikipedia. Hang on a minute. What's this here? Oh, wow. I've literally just found this by accident. Apparently, when Fabian Barthez retired from football in 2007, he began a career in motorsport. And he drove for Porsche. Wow, that's insane. He didn't win any races, but he won one or two. But anyway, we're not interested in that. Where we are. Fabian Barthez. Let's see. So Fabian Barthez, honours. He won the Champions League with Marseille. I was right about that. 92-93. He won the French division twice, top division twice. He won the Premier League twice. Won the World Cup, come runner-up in the World Cup as well in 2006. Won the European Championship in 2000. Won the Confederations Cup in 2003. He won the Yashin Award, the FIFA World Cup Yashin Award. He was in the FIFA World Cup All-Star team. Liga 1 Goalkeeper of the Year. UEFA Euro Team of the Tournament. World's Best Goalkeeper in 2000. UEFA Team of the Year in the Premier League. He was actually really good for United in his first season. But after that stupid mistake where he tried to bluff, I think it was Paolo Di Canio in the FA Cup, when he held his hand up, tried to say he was offside, but he wasn't. It just kind of went downhill from there. And then he let in a hat-trick from Brazilian Ronaldo as well. And he got most clean sheets in the Premier League in 2000 and 2001. And he's the second most capped goalkeeper for France, behind Hugo Lloris. And he's got the joint most FIFA World Cup clean sheets. So in answer to your question there, bang, bang, Pat for life, who would I rather have in the Man United goal right now? It would be Fabian Barthez over Andre Onana, my friend. Bang, bang, Pat for life again. Either way, the way you say Fabian Barthez, it's funny. You say his name in a very triumphant way. I appreciate it. Yes, Fabian Barthez. He was class compared to what we've got. It's the true Portuguese man inside you, Big D. Gaz, what you saying? Barthez was the keeper that Roberto Carlos did the famous free kick against. Good keeper, though, for a short guy. That's right. Yeah, I remember watching that match. Yeah, that was a bizarre goal from Roberto Carlos. It was like a glitch in the Matrix somehow. Yeah. It was really weird. But yeah, he was. He was a short goalkeeper, but he was really, really good. Yeah. You know, it's really weird sometimes. Like I grew up watching Manchester United I started supporting them when I was 10. So I was 10 in 1993. So the first full match that I watched was the Man City derby away when we were 2-0 down against Man City. 2 goals from Niall Quinn. Remember him? Used to own Sunderland. And we came back and won 3-2. 2 goals from Eric Cantona, and then Roy Keane, a new signing, a young Roy Keane, got the winner, right? We won 3-2, and that was the first ever full Man United match I watched with my dad, who is a Manchester United fan as well. And so that is, so what's that? 93, 03, 13, 23. So that's 32 years I've supported Man United. And of those years, 2/3 of those years, Man United have been world class. Absolutely world class. And it was for the first 20 years that they were world class, competing for Premier League titles, winning Premier League titles routinely, and getting stuck in the Champions League as well. So that's elite level football that I've been used to ever since I started watching football, right? Call me a glory fan if you want. I think the fact that I've endured this past 10 years and not wavered suggests that I'm not. And plus, my dad was a United fan as well. And I used to live, or is a United fan, he's still with us, thank God. And I used to live down the road from Old Trafford as well. And I've got a Man United YouTube channel too. So I'm not a glory fan. Anyway, point I'm making is you kind of get used to watching world-class players and it becomes the norm and you become desensitized to them. And then obviously gradually the team gets worse post-2013. And then you kind of get used to watching players like Fellaini, Schneiderlin, Fred, players like that, right? And then you think they're going to be good, right? But then you go back in a pang of nostalgia and look at sort of a highlight reel of Roy Keane and you're like, wow, who was that player? I don't remember him being that good, but he was always that good. It's just that you were desensitized to him. And Fabian Barthez is a good example. There was a time when I thought Fabian Barthez was crap, but now, for the first time in a long time, we've had a rubbish goalkeeper. Because if you think about it, it was only a couple of seasons ago we had David De Gea, and David De Gea was still class. He was one of the last bastions of the Fergie era. And again, he was another one. Like, a lot of people didn't realise how good we had it until he was gone. And then we got Andre Onana in. And I hate ragging on Onana. I don't want to rag on Onana. I really don't. I want him to be good. I really do want him to be good. It's just that he's not David De Gea. He's not Peter Schmeichel. He's not Edwin van der Sar. But you just kind of... You forget how good some players were. I mean, imagine if you put Edwin van der Sar, right? If you put Edwin van der Sar, Roy Keane and Ruud van Nistelrooy in this team now, they'd probably come second at least with everyone else that we've got. They would just carry the rest of the team because they were that good. And just remember the team that we had in 2003, right? Just think back, right? Who was in our nets 2003? Was it Barthez? It was. Yeah. The 2003 goalkeeper was Fabian Barthez. We won the league. Was it? Yeah, it was. So we had Fabian Barthez in the nets. Back four was Gary Neville, Rio Ferdinand. I think it was Wes Brown, Mikhail Silvestre. Then we had David Beckham, Roy Keane, Paul Scholes, Ryan Giggs. And up front, we had Veron or Solskjaer and Ruud van Nistelrooy. I mean, how good was that side? That was fantastic. Even Mikhail Silvestre. You'd pay 50 million for him now. It's insane. There's a lot. Man United used to drip with talent. I mean, just go back to the 99 team. Schmeichel, Neville, Johnson, Stam, Irwin, Beckham, Scholes, Keane, Giggs, York, Cole. Dwight York had a Ballon d'Or level year that season. He should have won the Ballon d'Or and he wasn't even mentioned for it. It's insane. Anyway, what's going on here? Bang Bang. No, I meant to say Bruno in that one, Fabian Barthez. Sorry, my bad. Bang Bang again. By the way, I feel like you're an English version of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Obi-Wan Kenobi was English. I know he was from a galaxy far, far away, but he was played initially by an Englishman. He was. And then by a Scotsman. Alec Guinness, the great Alec Guinness, God rest his soul, an amazing British actor, was English. And Ewan McGregor was Scottish. And I see what you're saying there. I am half English and half Scottish. So your instincts were correct there, Bang Bang. Yeah, I can see that's randomly gone into your head. You don't know why. Well, it must be the ginger beard, my friend. You must have been watching Star Wars Episode 3 lately. Or Disney Plus, the Kenobi series. Gaz Davies. They want keepers to be Bobby Moore with gloves on nowadays. I agree. I totally agree, mate. But I suppose it's just the way the game's going now. I mean, perhaps the goalkeepers were the last bastion of the sort of individualist. I mean, because if you go back to say 2006, which was probably the last great era or the great year for the individual footballer. Because if you look at the 2006 World Cup and the players that played in that World Cup, it's insane. I mean, and they were all specialists. It was none of this tactical business that the game sort of devolved into now. You had individualists like Del Piero, Totti, you had Pirlo, you had Cristiano, you had Lionel Messi, you had Ronaldinho, you had Brazilian Ronaldo. I mean, was Georgie Hadji still playing back then? I'm not entirely sure. Was he playing? Maybe he was. But if he wasn't long retired. You know, you had Oliver Kahn, you had Ballack, you had Rooney, you had Michael Owen, you had Gerrard, you had Lampard, you had Scholes, you had Ferdinand, you had Campbell. You know, you had all these great individual, technically brilliant specialists in their positions, right? Whereas now, it's all about the system. So you just need a couple of things that's just able to fit into a system. So as you say, quite rightly, they want Bobby Moore with gloves. So they need to be able to be a shot stopper and also kick a ball. That's it. Well, or have be able to cross a ball or have some kind of killer pass. But they don't even have to be good, like a good goalkeeper. Because look at Onana, he's crap. You know, but Erik ten Hag was desperate to get him. You know, but where's the classic number 10s? Where's all the number 9s now? You know, the only individualists we've got now are probably sort of the inside forwards. So fair enough, Mo Salah, you know, he's a good player and that. But you know, I say that, but Kylian Mbappe is a bit of an individualist, right? But Luis Enrique was happy to get rid of him from PSG because he couldn't work within the system. But Ousmane Dembele was able to perform the role that he wanted Mbappe to perform, and then they go on and win the Champions League. So I don't know. I'm not bothered about seeing a goalkeeper, you know, pass a ball 40 yards. I want to see a goalkeeper make like a last-ditch save from one side of the goal to the other. You know, I want to be entertained. Are we entertained? No, we're bloody not. Anyway, what we're saying here, Gaz. Niche fan. Nice to hear from you, my friend. Hi, Big D. I love your reminiscing. But we aren't the team we once were, and we won't be again until we are bought by Qatar. So that's a never, Niche fan. I don't think we are going to be bought by Qatar any time soon. I think we're stuck with what we've got. But we'll see what happens. I mean, I've been saying, like, Ineos' signings have been all right. I love De Ligt. I think Ugate's got potential. Who else? Xerxes, I think there's a player there waiting to sort of come out as well. And Boomo and Cunha look like good signings. So, who knows? We might kick on with Ineos. We don't need to go out and spend 500 million on players. We just need to spend a couple of 100 million on players who are the right signings, really, if Man United are going to compete in today's footballing world of systematic possession-based crap. But I understand your sentiments, mate, and yeah. But we'll see what happens. Bang Bang, I hate Disney Star Wars. Yeah. Bang Bang, I would love to talk Star Wars with you, my friend. I really would. But unfortunately, I need to stick to subject. This is a Manchester United fan channel. And although going to a galaxy far, far away pre the sequel trilogy is far more interesting than Manchester United right now, I must stick to topic because we've got 18 people watching tonight and they are tuning in to hear someone talking about Manchester United, my friend. So my sincerest apologies, but I need to get back to topic. Any questions about Manchester United? Any thoughts about Manchester United? Bang Bang? Or anyone else? There are 19 people watching. Any thoughts in the chat? The Big D reads all of the chat. He's going through it all now. And he's always interested in what is on your mind. Anyway. Guys, keepers and strikers are extinct now. No more Joe Jordans, Hateleys, Shearers, Suttons, etc. Gaz, how old are you, my friend? Because you're saying some names there that suggest you are a similar age to the Big D. Chris Sutton. Do you know what? Chris Sutton, there's a name. The old SAS from when Blackburn Rovers won the Premier League. He was a really good player. And Man United were linked with him at one point. And do you know what? He wasn't even a one-season wonder as well because he went to Chelsea and he scored goals there too. And he scored some goals in Scotland as well, although Scotland's a lower league. But when he was playing, Scotland was actually a little bit competitive. It's a lot more competitive than what it is now. Anyway, what are we saying here? So Sutton, Shearer, yeah, they would lose every decision now. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe. Because the game's a bit tame now, to be fair. Bang Bang. Feel like we could have won the Champions League in 2003 if it wasn't for the Galacticos and the Great R9 in all-conquering mood. Yeah, maybe. Looking back, I think we lost that one in midfield, that game. Roy Keane's come out and said himself, Roy Keane just wasn't quite the Roy Keane of what he used to be. And if you remember, Zinedine Zidane ran rings round Roy Keane that day, and Roy Keane just couldn't keep up. He'd had hip problems, and a few other problems as well. So he just wasn't able to sort of handle him anymore. And if you remember in 1999, Roy Keane in his prime was able to handle not only Zidane but Edgar Davids at the same time. So if we had that Roy Keane in that 2003 team, then it might have been a different kettle of fish. And yeah, Brazilian Ronaldo was just on fire that day. Maybe if Schmeichel was playing. So, I mean, I look back at that particular game, and if we'd had prime Roy Keane and a top-level goalkeeper in that team that day, we might just have beaten them. But it's all ifs, ands, or buts, and I did feel at the time as though we had a fair shot at winning the Champions League that year. So what was that, 2003? Who won it that year? 2003, let me think. I think it was AC Milan. They won it that year, and I think they won it at Old Trafford. Yeah, they did, actually, yeah. Oh my Lord, Bang Bang, oh my Lord, R9 was so unstoppable when he scored that hat-trick. Yeah, it was an amazing hat-trick, to be fair. Niche fan, players nowadays are better than they used to be due to multiple factors. I'd have Messi and Maldini in my all-time 11, but all my other players will be playing at the top today. Well, I don't know. I kind of disagree with you, Niche fan, a little bit, mate, to be fair. Because I would say players nowadays are certainly more professional. Definitely more professional. They're definitely fitter and more athletic. But in terms of pure footballers, I wouldn't say so. I don't think there's a player today. I mean, who's the best player in the world now, really? Who's the main standout? Who won the Ballon d'Or? It was Rodri, right? So the best players in the world now are Haaland, Mbappe, Ousmane Dembele, Yamin Lamal. Okay, I mean, they're all class players, but are they really as good as prime Alessandro Del Piero, prime Francesco Totti, prime Zinedine Zidane? I don't know, mate. Prime Roberto Baggio, prime Brazilian Ronaldo, prime Rivaldo, prime Ronaldinho. I don't think they are, pal. I don't think they are. They're certainly more professional than them. Certainly more professional than, say, Brazilian Ronaldo and Ronaldinho. But yeah, in terms of being pure footballers, I don't think they are, mate. I would have to disagree on that one. Gaz, even Haaland doesn't score many headers. Yeah. Which is strange, really. The guy's 8'2". Niche fan. But we need the stadium built, Big D, and we need the debt paid off. Yeah. Maybe. The thing is with the stadium, I'm kind of dreading the stadium being built because the Big D's, I think I spoke about this on my last stream, the Big D's dad is a season ticket holder. He's a pensioner, and I've got a feeling that his season ticket's going to go through the roof when that new stadium opens, and it's just not going to be worth it anymore for him. Unless the Big D gets 1 million subscribers and my YouTube channel goes through the roof, and then money's not going to be an issue. So the Big D's dad needs all your help, guys. So keep on watching, keep on sharing, keep on subscribing, keep on chatting so that the Big D's dad can afford, or the Big D can afford the Big D's dad's season ticket for the new stadium. And then the Big D can claim it back on tax and national insurance on his HMRC self-assessment because the Big D is self-employed. So it's a win-win. Anyway, where were we? Gaz Davis, we need to give Slabhead the number 9 shirt. Do you know what? Fair enough. I wouldn't be surprised if they did something like that because he did try it last season. It worked very well against Leon when he scored that winning header and the Big D was there. He was stood in the Stretford end when Big Slabhead scored that header. It was absolutely magnificent. Old Trafford was rocking that night. Bang Bang, what you saying? Yes, you see Bruno's naming in a very triumphant way. I say Bruno's name in a very triumphant name. It's a Portuguese man within. Use the force to let it out. Do you know what it is, Bang Bang? The Big D is a professional actor. Classically trained, went to drama school, got a master's degree in acting, professional actor for 15 years, and the Big D was creating a little self-tape monologue today, actually, so perhaps my performance skills are still quite lubricated from my work this afternoon. I've got another channel where you can see it as well if you want. It's under my acting name, which is my real name, at Dominic Hughes _ for those who are interested in my acting work. Check it out. Have a look. See what you like. Let's see. So when I say it, Bang Bang, in a very triumphant way, Bruno Fernandes, it's because I am enunciating. Anyway, I'm getting a little bit camp now. I've got to keep this show more masculine. Anyway, this is a football channel after all. But then again, they're all prima donnas on the pitches anyway. Mincing about. But where were we? Bang Bang Pat for Life. Thinking about the prequels. Didn't realise in Bang Bang, we've had this conversation. We can't talk about Star Wars or Indiana Jones on this channel, mate. I'm sorry. Bang Bang. And by the way, Proper got one over. See, you're doing it again. Star Wars. We're not talking about Star Wars, Bang Bang. Niche fan. I've just accepted that we will be a mid-table team from now on under Glinios. Stadium's never getting built. It's all BS. No, I think the stadium will get built. It's too much of a cash cow. Because once that stadium's built and they're charging 10 grand per ticket, then they're going to be quids in and all of that. And they're just going to be making money hand over fist. Because they're going to ship in all kinds of people from China, Japan, and all those other places just to fill that stadium. So they have to build that stadium because it's too much of a money spinner, mate. So yeah. Niche fan, if I ever won the lottery, I'd buy your dad a season ticket. Thanks, Niche fan. Thank you, mate. I appreciate that. I'll tell you what, I will settle for continued chats on this YouTube channel and perhaps sharing a video or two to all your friends so that I can get more subscribers and I can grow my channel nice and easy. I was going to quote a little line from a Tina Turner song there, from a Tina Turner film, rather, but the Big D can't sing. The Big D can act. The Big D can talk shite about football. The Big D swore. The Big D swore. The Big D shouldn't swear. The Big D apologises because this is not that kind of channel. This is not the United Stand. Not that I'm criticising the United Stand, because the United Stand is fantastic. Goldbridge is funny, but he swears. The Big D's not going to swear on this channel. But, anyway, I think that's it. I think where we are, this has been the longest video of my streaming career so far, and it's flown by. An hour and 5 minutes. Niche fan, you should have been in Game of Thrones. Quite right, mate. I should have been in Game of Thrones. I should have a word with my agent about that one. Anyway, but you know what? As ever, it's been fantastic talking to all you guys. Shout out to Niche fan, Bang Bang, Gaz, all you guys. If I've missed anyone out, I do apologise. I've chatted a lot tonight. Remember, like, share, subscribe, put your notification buttons on so that you know when the next Big D video or live stream hits, and then you can have a little chat with the Big D about Manchester United, not about Star Wars or Indiana Jones. Bang bang. Sorry, mate, but remember, the Big D is always interested in what you've got to say, what is on your mind. Put it in the chats, put it in the comments, like, share, subscribe, notifications. I'm repeating myself now because I'm getting delirious. It's getting late, and the Big D's got a very, very busy day tomorrow. The Big D's got to see Oasis on Saturday. The Big D's going to be at Wembley Stadium on Saturday watching Oasis. Please don't think I'm a traitor because Oasis support Man City. What can I say? They were a voice of my generation. That's how old the Big D is. Anyway, I've talked for long enough. Let's see what happens here. Last question. I've had 500 each way on us coming first or second this season at 33-1. Believe. You must be made of money, Gaz. You didn't tell me how old you were, Gaz. How old are you, mate? Niche fan, Oasis are garbage. Well, they better not be garbage on Saturday, mate. Hey, I tell you. It's costing a fortune to go down to London with all them Southerners. Mind you, I'll be with a lot of United fans, so you never know. It might be a good day. Anyway, Niche fan, Radiohead is the best band ever. Do you know, I'm not really familiar with Radiohead. Obviously, I've heard of them, but I can't say. 59, guys. Fair play, mate. Fair play. Well, you're like me, mate. You remember when United were good. But hopefully we can be celebrating on this channel next season, maybe the season after that. And hopefully I've got 1 million subscribers as well by that point. And my dad is sitting pretty in the Stretford End, or in the new Stretford End, in the big fancy pants new stadium paid for by you guys, the Big D's fans and subscribers. But anyway, the Big D needs to go. He's rambling now. Nice talking to all you guys. I'll see you in the next one. It's been a